Now that we are all here, welcome everybody. We appreciate you hopping on this August 2025. And Dave, you're the only one that on this call that will appreciate. This has been 4 years and 3 months of Transition 30 calls. So we're super excited about the fact that we're able to join with you again today. Transition 30 is all about bringing subject matter experts together to help you as the transitioning service member in navigating the bridge between the military and the civilian. And so all of these folks here on the call are here because either they've been through it or they've had a spouse go through it, or they're just passionate about helping in that situation. So a couple of things I'm going to make mention. You're not going to get any kind of gimmicks, promotions afterwards, whatever. You will get a final email from us that will send out a link where you can join the Transition 30 LinkedIn group. Also, there will be a link to our YouTube channel where you can look at all of the archived episodes that we have, and then anything that we have here today will be recorded. So don't feel like you have to write every single note down. We're also going to send out a chat transcript. So we're encouraging all of our presenters, all of the participants, go ahead and put your LinkedIn, would probably be the best and preferable. Go ahead and put your LinkedIn contact information in the chat so that if people want to be able to connect with you afterwards, they can do that. And so tomorrow we'll send you out that chat transcript, and then we'll also send out all the names of the presenters here with their LinkedIn profiles so that you can go out and reach out to the ones that you feel like would be appropriate for you in your situation. So the format is that we have a 5-minute clock, and everybody loves this. Uh, including myself, because I get to watch and find the people that they're never going to make it in a million years, and yet they try. And so lots of good information is going to be shared. And where we're going to start is we're going to start with Keith Cassant. Keith is a veteran. You'll have to remind me, Keith, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago that you transitioned out, but he's also co-host on the Vet SOS podcast. He just does amazing things for the veteran community. And what we brought him on today is he is really, really good at tearing, I call him the bearded wonder of truth bombs, and tearing off the Band-Aid so that you know what to expect, even when they're not telling you maybe in your TAP class kind of what to expect. So Keith, you got 5 minutes. What do we need to know when it comes to transition?
So much. I won't be able to give it to you all in 5 minutes, but I will give you probably the most important high-level pieces that I can. First of all, I'm here to give you the why. I'm here to set everybody else up that's going to speak today for success. I'm here to tell you why you need to listen to them. Because I'm not here to give you any specific piece of topic advice or topical advice. I'm here giving you the overview of why this call really exists. So the first thing is Todd mentioned, right? I'm going to give you some hard truths, and then hopefully we'll have time. I'll rub some dirt on it. We'll give you some Robitussin. You'll be feeling right as rain when it's all said and done. But all that to say, the first hard truth, if you will, or Band-Aid rip, whatever you want to call it, is you need to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. For those of you that are maybe just entering into this space, trust me, every veteran, trust me, everybody else, all of us on video, we've all heard the same thing. We all had to be told the same thing. But the reason I say that is because if you're shooting at everything that moves, right, and you're applying to all the jobs that are out there, you're gonna get nowhere. It's scientifically proven. Shooting, shotgun blasting, machine gun, running gun, whatever you want to call it, spray and pray, that type of job searching and shooting out resumes is not effective. It is not going to get you jobs. This is a sniper's game, right? How do snipers fight? They identify their target, they study, stalk, and infiltrate their target, and then they take calculated shots at it. So the next hard truth is you need to manage your expectations in this journey of transition. Why? Because you're going to fail, okay? At some point in this transition, you're going to fail, and you need to know it going in. I liken it to a knife fight, right? When I train security teams as well, we always teach them when we get to the knife fighting portion. Hey, if you ever get in a knife fight, God forbid, you need to go into this thing knowing you're going to get cut. Because if you don't think about that, or you don't expect that going into it, when you do get cut, you're going to go into shock. You're not going to know what to do about it. You're going to take your mind off the fight and concentrate on the cut, right? Transition's no different. You're going to fail. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. That first resume review is going to break your spirit. That first job application is going to fall on deaf ears. That first job interview may not result in a job offer, right? Now, hopefully you're not failing left and right. You're going to have successes as well, but do know that at some point you will fail at something in this journey, and it's going to hurt. But when it happens, you just tell yourself, oh, there it was. There's one of maybe a few cuts I'm going to get. Dust yourself off and keep going. The next thing is it's kind of back to figuring out what you want to be when you grow up, right? But I like to use what we call the BRM, basic rifle marksmanship in the Army. I don't know what other branches called it. Most of y'all didn't even hold weapons unless you were in the Marine Corps. But all that to say, so tighten the shot group, right? Figure out what you want to be when you grow up, but then on top of that, tighten it even further, right? Because I could figure out, okay, like I work in the cyber industry. I'm not a cyber guy by trade, but I work in the industry and I can speak to it very well, right? So I might just say, people come to me all the time. In fact, they're like, hey, Keith, I want to get into cyber. Cool. What area of cyber you want to get into? They're like, the cyber area of cyber. I'm like, that cyber is a field. Cyber is not a job, right? And so there's all these niches even within that. So figure out what you want to be when you grow up, but then narrow it down even further, right? Get it down to that closest thing you can. That's a role specific title if you can, but maybe you can branch out a little bit, right? But the tighter you get that shot group, the less energy you're going to spend in finding your next job or your next career. I don't know how I'm doing on time, but the next thing, and I think possibly the last thing really, is networking. I got a minute and a half. Great. So networking, you all heard it 100 times if you've been through TAP so far. You may even hear it more on this call tonight or today. But network studies and statistics at countless times, time and time again, they keep showing that networking works, right? I don't have time to get into the why. You just have to believe me, right? 70 to 85%, roughly, depending on which study you read, all those 70 to 85% of all jobs are attained through networking, right? So you have to network. You already have a network. That's one thing they typically don't tell you in TAP. All those people you served with while you were in uniform that have gotten out before you, where are they at? What are they doing? If you're like me and you've gotten a new one of these things every time in the last 20 years, the old contacts have rolled over to the new phone. Have you sat down with this thing and looked people up on LinkedIn? LinkedIn is not the end all be all of networking, but it is a very powerful tool to find people. Have you sat down with this thing and found out where people are at? And they might be doing a role or in a company that you're interested in. And those are people you don't have to network with, at least build new network with, right? Yes, always be networking, but start with the network you have. And I think I might be at time or darn close to it. So I'll stop there. But again, I could talk hours on all the things I just talked about. So hit me up on LinkedIn if you want to dive further in any of these topics. There's a book an appointment thing on my LinkedIn page. Happy to chat more with anybody.
Yeah. Keith, as always, those are the things that, on every call, the veterans, those that have already transitioned, when they hear you talk, they're like, yep, yep. There is so much wisdom that is being given in that 5 minutes, and I hope you do listen to that. And so for me, my name's Todd Nelson. I'm the one that started the Transition 30 group. But the reason I started it is because I saw that there's a lot of misinformation, bad information, no planning, lack of planning when it comes to financial readiness. And what ends up happening is people focus on the job, and they don't realize that the last statistics I saw, it was like 80% within 2 years post-transition, you've already moved on to at least one other job. And so you put all of your time and energy into, what's my next job? And you don't realize that in 3 months, because you decided I was in logistics, I'm going to go to Amazon. Oh, I'm going to be walking on, cement warehouse floors 15, 18 miles a day. That within 3 months, that job, you realize you've got to give up because you went for the paycheck. And instead, you should have taken some time and decompressed and figured out what was the job that you actually needed to take, or what was the paycheck that you needed to get. And that's part of the paycheck gap I'm going to talk about in a second. So let's talk about a couple of windows that are closing very quickly for you. And the closer you're getting to getting your DD 214 is the closer that you're getting where those windows are going to close. SGLI versus VGLI. The great thing about SGLI is that it's there for a reason, and VGLI is there for a reason. You may be completely uninsurable. That's why Congress, in their all of their wisdom, came up with the idea of VGLI. It's a great tool, but you need to realize that it gets very, very expensive as you go on. And so now is the time before, why is now the time? Before you get into your VA evals and documenting all the things that you need to do to get your BDD process and your VA evals going. Those are all things that you have to do and you want to do because it's your money. But when you start to do that, you could very well preclude yourself from ever being able to get private life insurance. So now is the time. Pick out a life insurance person, AFMA, USAA. We offer it. There's all kinds of places that offer it. Find somebody that can get you that and get you that now. Well, also when it comes to SBP, a lot of folks, if you can qualify for the SBP, you don't realize that that is literally almost $100,000 decision easily that you're making, and it's just normally a box on the out processing form. Do you want to actually you are automatically opted into SBP? You have to opt out of it, and so don't take your battle buddy's word for it. Don't take the guy that was your battle buddy that's now the financial advisor that's saying oh, don't do that. Take life insurance and all that stuff. Do your homework yourself. Look at your medical history. Look at your spouse's medical history. Realize that it's 6.5% that based off of what your pension is, and it goes up every year from there because your pension goes up every year. And so realize that is a commitment that you want to make. And it's not one size fits all. I have several times sat down with folks afterwards and just said, okay, let's take 15 minutes. Let's run through your numbers, get those numbers. Then you and your spouse, your significant other, you figure it out from yours, but just don't just take, oh, well, they said it was a good idea. So, or they said it's not a good idea. It's a really big decision. Make sure that you are taking the time to investigate that. Here's another one, and we've had so many presenters on the call that have said when it comes to tax withholding, do not go into that out processing and say, you know what, I don't know. What do you think? Well, the standard default is 10%. Well, here's the thing. If you're 20 plus and now your mill spouse is able to finally get his or her dream job, you're getting pension. Now you're making, say, six figures easily. You can be making $300,000-$400,000 a year. You retire in the first couple of months of the year. Now you're building up where you're only withholding 10% on your pension when you should have easily been withholding 24 to 28%. And all of a sudden at the next year, you're expecting some kind of a refund because you used to have BAS, you used to have BAH, you used to have all of those things. All of that goes away, and then you get multi-thousand-dollar bill. And remember that be careful because your final PCS, depending on, I had a client that this happened to, it turned out that was not deductible, and they owed thousands of dollars on their final PCS because and penalties and interest and all of that stuff. It is not something to take lightly. So make sure you're doing your homework on what your tax withholding should be. Again, the wage gap, remember your BAS, your BAH, that goes away. When you're trying to figure out what your taxes, what you need to replace, remember that you are going to have some VA. Hopefully you're started your BDD process, so you have a good idea of what your VA evaluation is going to be before you actually are post transition. And so remember, when it comes to your spouse's income, when it comes to your pension, all of those things are going to factor in, and plus where you're going to where your final move is going to be, that's going to be all part of the equation. So don't stress the job. I guess that's my point. I've heard this for over the last several years. I wish I wouldn't have stressed about my job. I wish I would have taken some time to think through it. Last thing I'm going to say, TSP. If you have a loan on your TSP, you may not even know you could. If you do, and you're transitioning, that becomes due and payable in 90 days. If you can't pay it, then that gets added onto your ordinary income and a 10% penalty. So make sure that you understand what your options are when it comes to TSP. You can leave it there. You can possibly roll it over to your new employer. You can move it into a private account. Those are things that you want to consider. If I can help, let me know. And so from here, we're going to go now to, I think we had Leslie. Leslie is one of my favorite presenters because she's such a great person, but I love the organization that she's with ACP. So Leslie, what is it that ACP does for folks that are on the call?
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate you. Happy Friday Eve to everyone. I'm Leslie Coffey. I'm the VP of Military Engagement for ACP. ACP, what we focus on is combating underemployment, one veteran and one spouse at a time. We want to make sure that you're utilizing all of your skills, education, training to the best of its ability. The way we go about doing that is providing one-to-one customized mentorship for a year. We have mentors for more than 1,500 companies, and our process is completely human driven. We are free. It's a nationwide nonprofit. We've been around, next month will be 17 years. So we've got almost 39,000 alum have come through our program. I'm an alumna of the program. That's why I joined the team. I've been with the team for 4.5 years now. My mentor from the middle of the Mojave Desert, before remote work was big, it was 2018, increased my pay by 67%. So if we can do it for me in the middle of the Mojave Desert, then I'm positive we can help you as well. We have more than 125 corporate partners. That's where about 65% of our mentors come from. But again, we do have mentors in every career field you can imagine, anything from, we've got an astronaut, I've got congressmen, got civil servants, I've got chairmen of the board, CEOs, and all the way down to a veteran that wanted to be an urban farmer, didn't know what that was. Turned out we had 3 mentors. I had someone who wanted to be a beekeeper. So I always say, don't self-select out, put the onus on us. We're happy to assist. It does not matter your rank. It does not matter your education background. 83% of those in our program are enlisted. 46% do not have a degree, yet we're able to maintain an average starting salary of $90,000. So almost half of those in our program really wouldn't even be afforded the opportunity to interview without that piece of paper, right? But it's just what Keith was talking about, and what I'm certain that Hope and Gary and Dave will as well, which is building that network, learning from somebody in the career or industry you're looking to get into. Of course, their network is in that career path. They're seasoned professionals. They failed for you in advance, so they can teach you the lessons that they've learned along the way. And I think that's it. I'll just see what kind of questions we have. Probably 2 more alibis. We do have an entrepreneurship program as well. If you're interested in growing or launching a business, it's a 3-pillar support program. You can always drop some links in the chat about that. And we are afforded the opportunity to self-select in if you want to share your resume with our corporate partners once a quarter. So that happens once a quarter. We don't do it automatically for you. If you would like it to get in front of our partners, we're happy to do that. But the secret sauce, I would say, is really the customization. It's a human that gets you on the phone, learns about you as an individual, learns about your goals, and then we rack and stack what's important to you in your transition. If you're wondering about what time in my line I should start, I started my service member 1 year out from terminal. So he would still have his mentor for salary negotiation. So if you're within that window of 1 year from terminal or closer, then today's the day. Thank you, Todd.
All right. Leslie, thanks. And if I remember correctly, that entrepreneurship program, isn't that partnered with IBMF, or am I wrong on that?
No, we actually do partner with them, but it's that you might be thinking of when they acquired Bunker Labs.
Oh,
IBMF
okay.
acquired Bunker Labs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just thought I'd throw that little hand grenade in there and see what happened. So apologize for that. All right, Dave Schantz, resident Skillbridge guru, now on the favored coast of America. What do we need to know about Skillbridge? All kinds of changes going on.
Yes, Todd, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining. Successfully left California and I'm in South Carolina. Loving it, absolutely loving it. You may want to play this back at half speed. I'm going to try to pack a lot in 5 minutes. Todd, can you start by sharing your Transition 30 YouTube channel? A lot of Skillbridge discussion topics in previous episodes. I invite you to check them all out on Todd's YouTube page. Keith started with this. Figure out what you want to do and where you want to live. No recruiters are going to invest any kind of time, money, resources, and effort in those people, candidates, service members who say that they can do anything and they can live anywhere. Every company is looking to make long-term professional relationships with candidates. And so exactly what Keith was saying, tighten up your shot group, figure out what you want to do, and then go after that, right? Don't just spray and pray. If you don't know what you want to do, career assessments. I think within TAP, they're still sharing mynextmove.org. That's a 60 question, test that says, I like building kitchen cabinets 1 through 5, yes or no. And it kind of tells you, what industries and jobs you may be interested in. Digging a little bit further, there's the Indigo assessment. I really like that one. It's a lot more in depth. Get it through Vets to Industry. You won't be sorry about that. Okay, what I really want to talk about is thinking artistically, okay? The Skillbridge website is not completely filled. So don't take it for gospel. There are way more opportunities than what's being shared on the Skillbridge website. There are way more locations that are being shared. What I'm talking about artistically is, let's say you meet some guy with a big old white beard whose name is Keith, and he leads Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency's Skillbridge program, right? CISA is a federal agency. Let's say you're seeing one of the 1,000 Skillbridge opportunities that Keith is sharing on a daily basis. It's IT, it's HR, it's logistics, and you're wondering, hey, Keith, where are all the cyber opportunities? Don't just sit back and wait or think, CISA doesn't have any Skillbridge opportunities for me. No, never, ever, ever say no for an organization. I want you to go out there and I want you to poke Keith. I want you to say, hey, Keith, my name is Dave. Transitioning in about a year. I'm a cyber guru. Would love to continue my opportunity, in cyber, doing whatever it is cyber, folks do. Can we create an opportunity doing analyst, penetration testing, quality assurance, right? Never, ever, ever say no for an organization. So just because you don't see the opportunities listed on LinkedIn, just because you don't see the opportunities listed on the Skillbridge website, if the company has more than 200 people, they've got HR, IT, cyber, logistics, business, sales, right? They've got it all. Just because they're not advertising does not mean they cannot make it happen. Bonus points, if you find the actual job that you want to have, that you want to get hired into, send it to Keith or whoever the POC from the company is and say, this is my cherry. I would love this. Can we talk about starting this as a Skillbridge opportunity? Thinking artistically, that's going to be the biggest thing. Never saying no for an organization. Skillbridge site is not all inclusive. The other thing I want to talk about, and actually from what I prepared for this call, I may actually lead some time back to Todd. Clearances. Okay. Clearances. The way this work is no organization who participates in Skillbridge has the ability to manipulate your clearance. So if you have a secret clearance and you're interested in top secret work, that's going to be a no-go. When the company hires you after your Skillbridge, then they will onboard your clearance. They will then own it and then they can manipulate it. But for Skillbridge, there's no bumping up, bumping down by the company. Okay. So what that means is when you should apply is also based on clearance. For the most part, if you are applying to Skillbridge opportunities that require a secret clearance or less, meaning no clearance at all, most recruiters don't look any further than 90 days in advance. If you're applying to opportunities that require a secret clearance, 4, 5, 6 months out and you're getting ghosted, the reason is because you're telling them that you have a secret clearance and that recruiter's not even looking at that opportunity. They're not even looking to fill it at that point. So 90 days before you're eligible to start a Skillbridge opportunity is when you want to start reaching out to those POCs for those secret positions or lower clearance positions. For those opportunities that require a top secret clearance or higher, you better put that down. You want to start 4 to 6 months out. 4 to 6 months out before you're eligible to begin, because there is no reciprocity with DoD clearances. Pretty much every agency, Todd's going to slap me, but for the most part, most agencies weigh the SF-86 differently. So if you get a speeding ticket and the DoD kind of smacks your hand and says, don't do that, right? NSA might be like, oh my God, they're going rogue, right? So they're going to weigh it differently, okay? You don't want to waste your Skillbridge time with background investigation time. So apply earlier with those federal agencies or those companies that are supporting federal agencies. Get the background investigation completed before you're Skillbridge eligible, so that way you're not wasting any of your Skillbridge time. Thank you.
All right.
Keith has something to
Dave,
say about
I'm
what I said.
Can I just make one small tweak to that? What you said about the reciprocity?
Yeah.
Because this is my department, my agency, so I love to tout this. DHS, any agency within the DHS umbrella, DHS does have a reciprocity MOU on file with DoD. So we can bring you in, we can do your background investigation, all that kind of good stuff in about 5 business days. So
Very cool.
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling. So I like to tout that.
Outstanding. And I did see somebody in the comments say something about NSA is DoD. Yes. However, they have much different specifications, and that's why the NSA Skillbridge program is pretty much dead, because of their security backlog and what they need to do for clearances.
And I will say that we are going to have Q&A at the end. I want to make sure that we honor the presenters here. So if you have questions, either write them down, get them in the chat, and we'll for sure talk on the Q&A. So next we have Hope, and Hope and I have had opportunity. She's part of Alfredo's Coffee House and all kinds of great stuff. So I know she won't have time to go into all of that, but we've had a chance to converse, and she is an amazing individual. And obviously you can see by the chat, I don't know where she's getting all this information, but it's like at her fingertips, apparently. She just has this huge database of all things military transition resource. But Hope, I know specifically you help a lot of folks. And I know in this time of year, and with everything going on this year in the federal space, it's a weird place. So what can you tell us if people are looking at getting a transitioning into a federal space? What does that look like right now? What are your suggestions?
The first thing I have to say to everyone, it is possible. If you look at all the requirements and all the things you have to do, and now we have 17 new things to do, yay, it can look impossible. It can, and then people will talk and say, oh, I've applied 500 times and never got a job. But if you had someone, I don't know, who's been studying it for 30 years, who's been in and out of the federal government as a contractor, and then as a federal worker, and back and forth in different agencies, and they hold your hand, they give you checklists and all kinds of documents in a zip file, and they explain to you exactly what you need to do, why would it be hard? It wouldn't be hard. This is the hard part. I do not write your resume for you. I only take care of mine. In all these 30 years, I only did it the first 5 years because I was with my unit and I needed to do that. If you take what I give you, if you listen and attend all of the sessions that you need to, you will be fine. I know people say, oh, you're so confident. I am confident. The reason why I'm confident is because I've taken my time to go step by step by step to give you strategies, sometimes as personal as the job you're going to do, so that you know exactly what you need to do. On May 29th, we have a new executive order that changed everything. I spent from May 29th, when I saw it, I was like, oh, yes. Believe me, I have been working, I have binders. I've been going through everything step by step. So all of the new things that I'm putting out there, I've already worked it out. If you're willing to do the work and not listen to everyone, stay focused, choose the job you want ahead of time. Don't worry, it's a checklist for that too. You will be fine. I say that with total confidence. The problem is when we're lazy, we want someone else to do it for us. We have this equal sign. I am an E7, that equals a what? It does not. And that's one of those terrible things that people tell you. Well, if you're an E7, guess what? Don't worry about it. You're going to run the federal government, become a GS-14. No, let me tell you why. There are qualifications for each job series. There are competencies for each grade level. And then on top of that, depending on the role you're in, there's even more competencies. So people will say, well, you don't need that large resume anymore, that master resume. We're going to 2 pages. What you will find, everyone's not going to the 2 pages. Because the truth is, it's very hard to get a federal job with 2 pages. Why? Because of what I just said. We have books. If you're going into the HR, that standard alone is 201 pages. Who can do all of those things and meet the qualifications with 1 or 2 jobs? I know I cannot. And I've done everything in HR, including the military, because that's what I did in the military. If you're willing to do the work, and regardless of the times, yes, they laid a lot of people off. They're no longer there. Guess what? They're going to have to do mass hiring now. You need to be prepared. That means you take the time, understand the jobs, put your resume together, put your cover letter. Yes, I said cover letter. You don't miss an opportunity to commit to what, let them know what you're committed to. I love the federal government. I want to work there. Why am I saying that? Because that's the way it's gone now. You have to prove that you're a patriot. You have to answer a total of 5 different essay questions. That's 4 of them. The first one is dealing with the Constitution. When was the last time you looked at the Constitution? 5th or 6th grade for most people. So that I've already gone through every little thing step by step to tell you this is what you need to know. Now I'm going to give you everything you need. I even have 10 and 12 page PowerPoints for each of the things you need to know. But if you never watch it, you never heed it, then you will miss out. The number one reason why people can't get federal jobs is 1, their resume is trash. It's absolutely trash. That is because they just put anything in there. But if I already tell you the qualifications for the job and you make sure that that's in there with the other stuff too, okay, then why would you lose? Why would you lose? So I'm done. I said I was going to do it. I was going to finish before 5 minutes because I could talk all day about this stuff. But I will invite you to a few things that I have going on, and they will keep going on and on. First, I did a whole new everything about cyber, and that is back to what Keith was talking about. You need to know the job title that you're going for. So I put together an entire class, 2 hours just on how to get you there, the resources that you need. I did that because of what he said. It takes too long for people to finish their certs. They choose the wrong one, the wrong thing, and it's garbage. If you're not on point and know the job that you're looking for, you will spend a lot of time and money and other people's time wasting it because you didn't do your research. We're not children, we're adults. So we have to behave like adults. The military is no longer going to hold your hand at all. You have to be responsible for everything. That's all I have to say.
Well, how do you really feel about that? That is what I that's awesome. And I thankfully, Keith, you were muted because you were like, "Whoa." That's awesome. The last presenter we have, I'm really excited. He and I have actually been able to meet in person. Gary is one of the finest men that I know. He lives down in Huntsville. I happen to be down there. Out of the blue, he accepted an invitation from me, and we met at Edgar's Bakery. Had this amazing meal. Gary is a fine man, fine veteran, and also happens to be a guru in the HR space. And so many of the folks that come through these calls, they are wanting to transition from the military to the civilian, and that's what a lot of our conversation that you and I had, Gary, was the difference between those two. And I thought it was so important that you share that. If somebody is here wanting to transition into civilian HR, what does that look like?
Well, thanks, Todd. Wow, that's a hard act to follow up. Everyone was bringing up points and was bumping my notes down. First of all, to Dave, I met my first Skillbridge employee today, and I've been out of the Army since 2014. And I was on a tour for one of our new facilities, which is across the research park. And I just shook his hand. I was like, hey, my name's Gary. I'm in HR. I'm in Legacy Blue Halo. You're in AV. What do you do here? He goes, I'm at Skillbridge. And his eyes lit up and he smiled. He goes, I am building autonomous systems to attack the enemy and in an R&D atmosphere, treated like a human being and happier than I've ever been. And I was floored. And his boss, who I sought out, and I found him and said, oh, he's going to be full-time here. He's killing it. Seeing that in person was just amazing to me. Haven't seen it, 11 years post-retirement. I'm in HR, as Todd mentioned. I talk more people out of HR than into HR because it's not what you think. I think next to project or program manager, most transitioning vets say, I want to go into HR. And they don't know and don't ask the questions. So to Keith's point, to Hope's point, to everybody who spoke prior to me in this, they said networking. That is the most important thing you can do. And not just getting to know people that can help you land your post-military role, they can actually teach you what they do on a daily basis. And then you can measure, say, man, I don't want to have that many difficult conversations in a week, in a day, in a month, in a quarter, or a year, because much of my life is filled with difficult conversations. And you can't knife hand the people you're having them with. It's a huge difference, to Todd's point. That networking is huge. Find veterans that have networked, that have transitioned out of the military into the HR space. Beyond that, network with people that have never been in boots that have been in the HR space. At the role level you want to be, a manager, a director, a VP. Heck, if you want to be a CHRO, who am I to say you can't do it? But if you don't know what they do on a daily basis, how can you possibly translate anything that you've done in the military to make sense to a hiring manager to say, I need to hire Gary because he's checking blocks. He can move the needle for our organization in the people operations space. You have got to meet those people. And if they say no, go to the next one. Keep going. You're going to fail. Like Keith said earlier, I failed and I have a quick story. Imagine the HR guy screwing up payroll for a 600-person facility and they show up Friday morning out your HR door because none of them got paid. That was me. I failed, and I failed miserably. You talk about pitchfork justice, it was real. It was ready to happen because a lot of these folks live literally paycheck to paycheck. And I screwed that up. So you're going to fail. Just don't do it twice. Don't do it back. So network, don't fear the fire hose. You're going to fail. Lastly, identify the gaps after you've networked with these people. Okay. Formal mentorship is huge. ACP, 50 strong. There's a ton, not a ton. There's many great organizations that will mentor you formally, that will help you identify gaps that you have. And I don't care what your rank is. I don't care what your branch is. You have gaps. Performance management out here and performance management in the military, very different. There's some similarities, but overall it's different. Do you know what KPIs are? Do you know what OKRs are? Do you know what organizational design means? Do you know what overhead costs are? Do you know what labor cost is? Do you know what standard costing is? Do you know how to design a policy handbook? How do you review a policy handbook? Audits, DCAA audits. Going through one now, but I'm learning a ton because I'm new in the GovCon space. I know manufacturing audits. I know distribution audits. I worked at Amazon. I know what they look like. Every day is a learning opportunity, and you have to approach it that way. Last thing I'll say, so we can give some time back. I know more people than you can shake a stick at that left the military saying they wanted to go into HR and didn't properly explore what HR is that are doing different things right now. They got HR certifications, they got HR degrees, and they got HR jobs, and they were miserable. The Sunday scaries were real. I was in HR and I was scared on Sunday because I hated Monday. Now I actually look forward to Monday, and I could say that with a straight face and honestly mean it because I found the proper industry match to what I wanted to do both tactically and strategically in HR. You can too, but you need to do that exploration well before you sign a contingent offer and get into a job, regardless of what the compensation looks like, because all the money in the world won't make you unmiserable. I promise you. So give some time back.
Yeah. Well, Gary, and that's why I was so impressed from our conversation, because those are the things that just aren't talked about. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've seen a lot of other podcasts. It's just not talked about. It's well, this is how you transition, but it's not should you transition into the HR space. Perfect. Great information. So what we want to do now is, if you're on the call, now is the opportunity to get some of your questions answered. And as you can tell, there's some absolute rock stars in their spaces here on the call. And so if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself. Preferably if you can put yourself on camera so we can see who you are, that would be great. But any questions that you have for any of our presenters here? Really? None?
Can I ask a
If you're,
question to them?
yeah, absolutely.
How are they going about networking? Again, we've mentioned it. We've all mentioned it. I think every person mentioned it. We talk about network, but we didn't go into the how. So I'm curious, all the other folks on this call, what are you doing to network? How are you networking? How are you finding the people to network with? So if anybody wants to jump in and maybe answer that question, I might get some conversation generated.
Yeah, yeah. So beyond tap and setting up your LinkedIn profile, what are you all doing when it comes to networking?
They're not, maybe.
Don't be
I,
shy.
Okay to
I'm
say you're
gonna,
not.
I am shocked at this. This is the first time that we haven't had. Okay, James, you're the man.
Yep. Hey, I've been doing a lot of LinkedIn searches, looking in the industry that I'm really looking for. I've been actually working with Dave on the Skillbridge side, trying to find a good Skillbridge for me, uh, and getting some knowledge from him. So that's one of the big things I've been working on is LinkedIn, finding the industry, finding the region. I already know where I want to live. Family's already there, so it's really narrowing it down, finding the Skillbridge and the job that I want.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a huge part of it, just knowing where you want to go. So good for you. Armina, did you have something you wanted to share?
I did, yes. So I'm currently 19 years in over here at Holloman Air Force Base. So I just signed up for the Hire to Heroes event to kind of kickstart local networking, right? They're bringing in a lot of just kind of like local people to kind of talk to us, or who's willing to come down to this area, right? Because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere down here at Holloman. So and then I'm also going to attend next month another event. I'm going to drive up to Fort Bliss. And then just using my LinkedIn account, past mentors, like you mentioned, who are already kind of in it. And then also, I've been a AFSA member since I came in for 19 years. I served on the board. I was one of the first females to hold a position in like 13 years. But with my transition from overseas, I was overseas for 17 years. So for me, there's a huge gap when I came over. They brought me straight into DC to work at the National Guard Bureau headquarters in kind of like a special duty position. And so a lot of people in my community, because I'm a logistics background, I don't know them here in the States. So I'm kind of having a rough time right now figuring out who's who, who's what, how does this work? Because originally I'm from Amsterdam. And then I came to the States, joined the military, 17 years overseas. Now I'm here, and then they brought me down to Holloman. So, and then they kind of took me away from the 2S community. Down here, there's not many of us. So I'm trying to figure that part out, right? I'm trying to use what I do know, what I do have, and then trying to grow that network. So if you have any suggestions or anything, yeah, I don't feel like I'm late to the game, but I feel like I'm late to the game. So, but I still have a year, right? Like, with my service commitment for senior, it took me out to October next year. So I'm working hard now to try to get there to be prepared.
I would say with a year out, you're in that sweet spot to start networking. Like, this is now the time to turn it up. You know, resume stuff, that's always an ongoing tweak. You're really going to crack down on that about 3 to 6 months out, but networking takes time. And so I would encourage you, going to events, networking events are great, right? I'm not going to say you couldn't show up to a networking event, meet a recruiter, maybe even a hiring manager, and actually that could lead to a job down the road. But that's an event where 1,800 other people are also trying to talk to every single one of those folks. And they're mostly recruiters and not the hiring managers more often than not. And let's just face it, I live in this space. I will say it. We recruiters are jaded, right? Everybody's trying to talk to us. So my approach is, I'm not saying don't go to these events. Get your face out there in the public. That is there's value to that. But on the backside, kind of quietly in the shadows behind closed doors, find the people that are doing the jobs you want to do. But start with the organizations. So find 3 to 5 organizations that seem to be offering the jobs you're looking for more often than not. Within those 3 organizations, find 3 to 5 people that are doing those jobs. Reach out to them. Have conversations with them, because nobody's hitting them up. Everybody's hitting up the recruiters, everybody's hitting up their hiring managers. You hit up these people that are doing the job. First of all, the talks you have with them is pure gold, right? You're getting insight into like what they might look for on resumes, what you can do to be more competitive for the role, what training or certifications they might put weight on, things that they would never put on the job announcement. You're getting this insider knowledge to help you, be more competitive in the application. And oh yeah, by the way, you're building rapport with these folks. So, you do this, you have a few conversations with these folks. And if you identify these organizations effectively that they seem to offer these jobs with some regularity, the job's going to open up. Then you can reach back out to these folks and say, hey, I really, really want to thank you for our talks and your time these last few months. The job just opened up in the organization. I am incredibly excited, and I really just want to thank you for all your time. Now, you didn't ask them to do anything else, but chances are, if they know who that hiring manager is, which if you've networked properly, there's a good chance they know who that hiring manager is, they're going to try to throw your name out there for 2 reasons. 1, everybody loves the feel-good story of, I helped Armina get this job. But 2, a lot of organizations, I would argue the good organizations that have healthy cultures, they offer referral bonuses because they realize that networking is how we get the right people into the organization and keep the toxicity out. So it's kind of a lot of birds with just a few stones being killed there, but hopefully I didn't ramble too much. But yeah, that's where I would encourage you to take it to the next level. Don't stop going to those events. Don't stop, networking in any other ways you can think of, but it's that sniper's game, right? Identify your target, which is the organization, study it, stalk it, right? Which is infiltrate it, which is meeting people in the organization, and then start taking calculated shots at job openings.
That's what I do with Twitter. So I like that. I like the approach. That's how I was before coming down here. So, okay.
Hope you got your hand up.
You're on mute.
I do. And what I want to point out to you, I did put a link in there. It's a YouTube link to Jennifer. I like to call her Jennifer, that full of thing, because she goes by Jen most of the time. Jen has created all of these videos to help the military community build up their LinkedIn profiles to understand how it works. So you take one video at a time and you walk through. The interesting thing is you may find other people in the community in those videos because she's awesome like that. The other thing I want to point out to you, because I keep mentioning this, and I'm not, I didn't know that people didn't know about groups, LinkedIn groups. That is one of the places where you will find people who absolutely are doing what you want to do. So it's just right there. You type in, whatever it is that you're going to do, computer, I'm a cyber person, I'm an HR person. You click that, and then you click on group, and it's going to bring you all of those groups. Now you can decide to go for the big number, like a group of 1 million people, or you can go for some of the smaller groups. When I started out a long time ago, I started out with the tiny groups because I wanted to understand it all. I wasn't comfortable putting myself out there. I'm more of a behind the scenes, hidden kind of person. So I didn't want to like put anything in these huge groups and then no one responds. So what's the point in putting in there? What I found is working my way up is that because I understood how the groups work, then I could go into the larger groups and share information. They have a section, most of them have accepted it at this point, where you could ask the entire group a question. So then I'm in Maryland. Can you give me some ideas of events that are going on dealing with HR, dealing with whatever the thing is? Groups are the way to go to find people quickly and to get some answers quickly. So please make sure you do that. The other thing I want to point out is I put Mill Mentor in there. That's another place where you can find military people who are willing to mentor you. I'm in there, but I have no hours, so don't try. I'm sorry. So what you want to do, because you showed up today, is click on the link I put in there because it goes directly to my calendar. And so you can set up a time to speak with me. That's the best way to catch me. The other thing is, the reason why I love all of this is I used to be a librarian. I'm still a librarian, but I did corporate librarianship for a long time. So whenever you deal with me, there's several things I'm going to tell you. Number one, research. Oh yeah. Number two, research. And oh yeah, number three, research. You people spend hours and hours looking for a cell phone. The new iPhone is out, blah, blah, blah. You need to be spending the time on the job that's going to allow you to pay for your life and your children's life. Just one more thing before I go. Can't say this. I want to say it rude. I want to be obnoxious about it. If you don't take the time to do your claim before you leave that military environment, you not use an extra $3,000 a month. If you have children in a family, you are obligated to take care of them. And one of the ways we take care of our family as veterans is through putting in our claims. What if you can't work? What if something happens and you lose your job? You have it's not even simple. It's a big deal. Not only that, once you get to 100%, you say, well, I'm not 100% disabled. That's because you don't know what it's all about. That's why you say that. When you're 100%, that means no property taxes. If you're in a state like I'm in Georgia, we get partial. They take a little bit of the money away from our property taxes. What I'm saying to you is we have federal benefits, we have state benefits, we have county benefits. That is money that you're not taking out your pocket to give to someone for some kind of service. What that means is you get to keep the money in your pocket. Just that simple. Can't push you enough because that means that your children, once you hit 30%, you can put all your dependents on there. The more you have in your percentage, the more resources open up for your family. That was my motivation for my kids. Did you know they paid my son's tuition for a good while there? Come on now. We want so much for our children. When we don't put through our claims, we're doing the opposite of what we're thinking about all day. Why do we get these jobs? Get jobs for me. I'm a minimalist. Give me some black stuff. I'm good. I can wear the same black stuff over and over again. But our children, we have to take care of them. They get old enough, they need a car. I mean, where we live, there's no transportation. I'm just saying to you, it's not just a decision about, I don't want to take something away from someone else. You're not, believe me. There is enough money for all of us who have been hindered, disabled. I will use myself as an example. My military career was actually 5 years and 9 months, but it was all in the reserves. Why is that? Because I'm one of those people you hear about that got injured in boot camp. So I talked my way into staying in because, I can do all kinds of other things besides all the stuff that people were doing. All I could do, I was on a dead man's profile my entire career. And I got more and more disabled. I am 53 now. 53. We're talking ramps now. You don't know. You say, oh, I'm fine. I'm not disabled. You have no idea all the things you've been exposed to and what's going to happen to your knees and your hips and your back as you get older. I want you to look at me as the one who's saying to you, get off your butt, make sure you do your claim before you leave, because you don't want to deal with the VA. Do not skip the process of getting all that you can while you're there. Go through your own medical records and pull out every time you went to sick call. Why? You have a veteran service organization that's willing to help you, but they need the information in order to help you. But let me tell you one other thing, because this is one of the things I get mad at.
We are going to do one other thing, Hope.
Stop lying when you go through your process. You know that you are a thrill seeker. You know things are not right. You can't even go into a restaurant and put your back to the door. That's not normal, okay? We've normalized it. It is not normal. There is an issue there. Who's coming after you in Cracker Barrel? Who's coming after you? Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
Just saying to you, that's not normal. We normalize a lot of things in our community, but that's not normal. I have issues with blinds. I need the blinds to go down and not up. That's just one of them. I have a lot because mine are mostly physical. Please, people, do that for your family. And you say, well, I'm not sure how to do that. That's okay. I'm going to offer you two things. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in there about the whole process. Please download. The second thing is come to Alfredo's Coffee House. We all have two things in common in there. Number one, the regulars, we are all 100%. All of us, we're 100%. The second thing is we stay consistently employed. And it's an unusual amount of people who are federal employees. I'm just saying that. We're here to help you because you need to stay connected to other veterans, or we know about what happens within the first 3 years that you get out. Suicide. That's when our numbers are the highest. When all you have to do is call Leslie, call Gary, have a conversation, put all your fears on the table. And here's a hint. If you have a spouse that's never been in the military, don't tell them everything. They don't understand everything you're saying. That's why we have each other.
Hey,
I'm
that's
sorry.
right.
Go ahead.
And Hope,
Sorry.
I know that everybody's passionate about that, and I'm glad to see your passion too. But I do want to honor everybody's time. But that's awesome. It's great to hear all of that, and obviously you've got so much information that you can share. So what I want to do is just let you know that tomorrow you're going to be getting an email with everybody's information, the YouTube link, the video or the chat, everything. Presenters, thank you so much for joining us on the call. As always, it's an honor and a privilege that you hop on the call, take time out of your day to be here, and just really appreciate your time. If you have questions that didn't get answered, now you know who you can reach out to and who you can connect with. So everybody, thanks so much. Keith and Hope and Dave and Gary and Leslie and everyone on the call, thanks so much. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.